an easy topic to talk about, but September is Suicide Prevention Month. And according to the CDC, more than 49,000 people died by suicide in 2022. That's one death in every 11 minutes. The CDC says suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people. Get this, between the ages of 10 and 34. So here now to talk more about the warning signs that parents can look out for is Dr. Willough Jenkins, Pediatric Psychiatrist at Rady Children's Hospital. First of all, thank you so much for coming in. I know this is a really important topic. You see this in the hospital a lot. Kids are coming in, they're feeling suicidal. Some of them have even attempted suicide.
Yeah, this is something that I see every day, and you're right, it's the second leading cause of death for teens. And we know 1 in 5 teens has seriously thought about suicide.
1 in 5?
1 in 5. You look at a classroom, that's 5 kids. So unfortunately, this is a conversation that families have to have. We really can't afford to not have these conversations.
When do you have this conversation? What's an age-appropriate time to start?
I think it's important to create a safe space for emotional conversations in your house. So starting even young, I have young kids in elementary school, and even talking to them, sometimes life can be stressful. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. If you're ever feeling really down or overwhelmed, I want you to know you can talk to me about anything. And that's an age-appropriate way to create that space, that there'll be no judgment if they come to you saying, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed, or I'm feeling suicidal.
So the word suicide, though, I know it's a hard word to say because I think a lot of parents are worried, if I say that, am I planting a seed that that's even a possibility for my child? Is that true? Are we doing that by even bringing up the topic to those 12, 13, 14-year-old kids?
Well, it's such an understandable thought and such a hard thing as a parent to think to even talk about with your child, but suicide is not a bad word. And we know that talking about suicide doesn't increase the risk for suicide. It doesn't plant thoughts in anyone's head who doesn't have it. In fact, it actually reduces the risk because you might potentially have a life-saving conversation with your child.
What if your child says, yeah, I have been thinking about that, or I thought about it, or what do you do at that very moment? What's the answer?
The biggest thing is try to stay calm yourself and not react with shock, even though inside you might really have a lot of emotions going on. And how you respond matters so much. Listening to what they have to say, assuring them you're there for them, and talking about how to get them help.
As far as getting them that help, when your child says to you, I have been feeling really down, really anxious, and at times, mom or dad, I have felt like maybe I shouldn't be here at all. Do you, at that moment, make the doctor's appointment? Do you take them somewhere at that? I just want to make sure that we understand how to approach this. Is it an emergency, or is it something that we wait till the next available appointment?
These are such tough decisions, and I think the first thing is when your child says to you they're suicidal, be sure that you don't dismiss it, say it's just a phase, or think it's just attention seeking, or they were just joking. These are things I hear. So taking it seriously and taking it urgently. So I say when a child's talking about suicide, it's not a thing that can wait days. Hours can matter. And so if your child's saying that they feel like they can't keep themselves safe, or you don't even know how to ask them about that, it is an emergency. So whether that's calling a suicide crisis line, whether that's coming into our emergency room to get help, so you don't have the burden of making that decision yourself as a parent.
And I think that's something to point out here, because you and I have done a story on the resources that are available at Rady Children's Hospital, and people can walk into your emergency room, just like any other emergency, and let the person at the front desk know what's going on. And there are resources right there 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, and there are families walking in every day. So you're not alone, and everybody is there to support you. We have a specialized pediatric psychiatric emergency room. And aside from the emergency room, we also have an urgent care in Mid-City as well. So there's a lot of resources to get urgent help.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with our viewers, because this is so important. As far as trying to keep our kids feeling like they're mentally healthy, what can we do as parents besides having these important conversations to make sure that they are on the right path? Sometimes kids are pretty good about hiding stuff.
They can be, so fostering that connection with your kids, doing activities together as a family. It doesn't always have to be these hard conversations. My biggest advice is just to stay as connected to your kids and try to enjoy the time with them as best you can.
Dr. Willough Jenkins, Pediatric Psychiatrist from Rady Children's Hospital. We appreciate your expertise. And I don't think many of us realize sometimes what our hospital workers are dealing with over at Rady Children's, with these families walking in many a day needing this type of help. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely one of those moments where you think, wow, some families are up against a lot in this county. All right.
Absolutely. No, thank you for raising awareness.
Thank you.
Yeah.